we think some of the states can actually open up before the deadline of May 1st.
The president promises a big announcement this afternoon as the number of infected still grows. Some states expanding their restrictions. New York, Maryland, and Pennsylvania ramping up rules about wearing masks in public. And the latest on the fight to fix that brutal testing backlog.
Pandemic protest. Americans angry about stay-at-home orders flooding the streets in Michigan's capital.
Michigan is in dire straits now. We need to get to work.
Protesters also marching in North Carolina, and churchgoers filing lawsuits in Kentucky about those bans.
Economy on the edge as millions more file for unemployment. The government reports 80 million Americans have received their stimulus payments, but reports this morning of chaos and confusion for some trying to get their money. And the IRS site meant to help crashing.
Colleges in crisis. Educators sound the alarm. Schools in jeopardy of losing billions of dollars, with campuses in danger of being closed in the fall. How many students and their parents are planning to pull out?
Stranded at sea. Tens of thousands still stuck on cruise ships with no ports willing to take them in. The crew member speaking out this morning, adrift for weeks, taking us inside his ghost ship. Only on GMA this morning.
An ABC News exclusive, Michael Jordan Live, talking about the brand new ESPN docuseries, The Last Dance. Inside his unforgettable final championship season with the Chicago Bulls, the legend on his legacy, and the never-before-seen footage only on GMA this morning.
Live in Times Square, this is Good Morning America.
Good morning, America. We cannot wait to hear from Michael Jordan, and we're happy to have Amy here, of course, in studio with me. And we're also happy on this Friday Eve to have Robert and George at home. And Robert, I know you are excited to talk to the GOAT.
I know you consider him the greatest of all time as well, Michael. Cannot wait to talk to Michael Jordan about that highly anticipated docuseries, The Last Dance, and we will in our next half hour. But I really want everyone to take a look at this incredible moment. This is the first time young mother met her newborn son. She was finally released from Southside Hospital in New York after recovering from a long battle with COVID-19. The mother, who was in a coma when she gave birth, never able to meet her son, and it is reunions like this, George, that give us all hope.
Boy, they sure do. We talk about miracles all the time. That certainly is one right there. So great to see that. Here are the latest headlines we have right now. There are now more than 630,000 confirmed cases of coronavirus in the United States. The number of people recovered has climbed over 50,000. And in Washington, the president is set to announce new guidelines on social distancing this afternoon. These are designed to help states decide how and when to lift restrictions on work and school so the economy can get moving again. And of course, this comes as the task force announced that the rate of increase in new cases is declining. It's still going up, but it's declining by a lower rate. But the numbers still vary widely from state to state. Amy?
Well, George, we begin our coverage this morning with Whit Johnson, who is in Times Square with more on those big questions of when and how states will reopen. Good morning, Whit.
Amy, good morning to you. The White House Coronavirus Task Force has identified 9 states with fewer than 1,000 cases. President Trump insists that some of them could start to reopen before May 1st. Hard-hit New York, though, is not one of them, with hundreds still dying by the day. Governor Andrew Cuomo now ordering people to wear a mask in public places.
This morning, despite the soaring death toll in the U.S. topping 30,000 fatalities, the White House is determined to reopen the country as soon as possible.
We'll be opening up states, some states much sooner than others. And we think some of the states can actually open up before the deadline of May 1st.
President Trump's coronavirus task force planning to issue new national guidelines for states to follow this afternoon, pointing to encouraging signs that the curve may be flattening.
The data suggests that nationwide we have passed the peak on new cases.
Governors across the country are grappling with the timing and what reopening would actually look like. On Wednesday, Idaho, Kansas, and Washington, D.C. all pushing back their planned opening dates several weeks.
I kind of refer to it as kind of a rolling re-entry, so that it's not going to be like a light switch that you turn on and off.
New York City's mayor saying he will only consider loosening restrictions when there is a consistent 10 to 14-day drop in hospital admissions and the percentage of people who test positive.
The worst possible scenario would be to take the foot off the gas, think we're out of the woods, let people come back too quickly, and have the disease boomerang back on us.
New York's governor issuing an executive order requiring people to wear masks in public, including places like the subway and crowded sidewalks. Maryland also announcing it will require masks in stores and public transit. Pennsylvania ordering businesses to turn away customers who don't wear masks starting this weekend. But this morning, a growing consensus that stepped up testing is key to putting the country back to work. So far, just over 3 million Americans have been tested for COVID-19. That's 1% of the U.S. population. In Miami, this line of cars snaking around Hard Rock Stadium, the facility only able to perform 700 tests per day.
I came here yesterday. I couldn't do it, so I have to come back today.
But as the pandemic spreads, the battle still rages in the ICUs. Inside New York's Mount Sinai Beth Israel Hospital, Dr. Eric Eiding telling us the hospital has revised its policies to allow some patients time with their loved ones.
We decided to change it for patients where they're very near the end of life so that people don't have to die alone.
Now, as some states begin to ease restrictions, Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti says large-scale gatherings like concerts and sporting events likely won't come back to his city until 2021. Michael?
No, that was shocking news to a lot of people, Whit. Thank you so much for that. Now to those demonstrations around the country against stay-at-home orders. The protesters rallying in state capitals, calling the orders too extreme and a violation of their rights. Steve Osasami has more. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning to you, Michael. Many of these people take offense to the notion that they're not sensitive to the health crisis that's happening in this country right now. Some of them are having to sign up for unemployment for the first time in their lives. They want their government officials to take the risk, end the shutdown orders, and get this country back to work immediately. In Michigan, they're calling it Operation Gridlock. Thousands poured into Lansing, the state capital, to protest the governor's stay-at-home order.
If you're sick, stay home and in your house. The ones that can work need to work. We need to open our businesses. Michigan is in dire straits now. We need to get to work.
Michigan's governor was not pleased that protesters outside her office weren't socially distancing. COVID-19 has killed more than 1,900 in the state.
The sad irony here is that the protest was that they don't like being in this stay-home order, and they may have just created a need to lengthen it.
The protest isn't ending there. A group of residents and small business owners have filed this lawsuit against the governor, saying that her stay-at-home order, meant to fight the spread of the coronavirus, is unconstitutional, arguing that Governor Whitmer has placed the cost of these orders squarely upon the shoulders of private individuals and their families, and has failed to justly compensate affected parties. Across the country, as the lines to the food and unemployment offices grow longer, patience is wearing thin for the restrictions meant to save lives. They were marching in North Carolina, too. One woman was taken away by police. They were shouting that they're more afraid of the spiraling economy than they are of any virus.
Everybody gets to make their own choice. If you're scared, stay home. But I'm not scared, and I don't want to stay home.
In Kentucky, where the disease has killed at least 115 people, churchgoers are suing, saying that the governor has gone too far, keeping the faithful from church services.
If I don't exercise my right, I fear that I will lose my right. And my right to religion is one that's been fought for centuries.
A number of states are now discussing ways to reopen, in some cases, setting up committees to give them options. George.
Okay, Steve, thanks. And of course, it's being discussed at the White House as well. And that's where we want to go for more on President Trump's plans to reopen the country. As we've said, he's expected to announce new guidelines this afternoon for states to consider as they move to get up and running again and ease social distancing. Our senior White House correspondent, Cecilia Vega, is in Washington with the details. And Cecilia, this is clearly the issue the president most focused on right now.
Yeah, he's focused on it. George, good morning to you. He also says this is the most difficult decision that he will have to make in his presidency. And you know this, he's hearing from both sides right now. He had this conference call with CEOs and business leaders yesterday who really gave him an earful and said that Americans are not going to feel comfortable returning to life as normal unless there's widespread testing available. And that's a notion that the president has really pushed back on. He says he doesn't believe that there needs to be widespread testing in order to move ahead. So here's what we're looking at. The president today with these new guidelines, and they are expected to be exactly that, just guidelines. He says it's going to be up essentially to states and local communities to decide how and when to move forward. But the White House is looking at 9 states where they're seeing fewer cases of COVID-19 that could be looking at lifting these social distancing guidelines that the White House had issued a few weeks back to head back to life as normal, essentially before this May 1st deadline. In states where the numbers are still high, we're looking at these social distancing guidelines staying in place. But the president, George, has said that he wants America to be the comeback kids. He's got health experts on the other side saying, slow down, don't do this prematurely.
And Cecilia, those $1,200 relief checks passed by Congress and pushed by the White House are starting to go out right now. At that press conference yesterday, the president appeared to act as if he had nothing to do with that unprecedented decision to put his name on the checks.
Yeah, he said he didn't know very much about it. He said, quote, people are going to be very happy to get a big, fat, beautiful check with his name on it. George, here's the reality. Sources are telling us the president was involved in this decision.
Cecilia Vega, thanks very much. Robin?
Okay, George, and now we have more on the economic toll from this outbreak. Another jobless claims report this morning expected to show millions more filing for unemployment. And while some are receiving those relief checks you mentioned, the mass rush for those stimulus payments is causing some confusion and delays. Rebecca Jarvis joins us now with more on all that. Good morning, Rebecca.
Good morning, Robin. And you can understand for so many, those $1,200 checks can't come soon enough. What started as layoffs in the hotel industry at restaurants and bars has now spilled over to other places like retail. And today we expect to learn another 5 to 6 million Americans lost their job last week.
According to the White House, 80 million Americans have received their stimulus payments. But for some, chaos and confusion amid the rush to get the checks out at record speed.
It says that there's not any info on when my payment will be deposited.
The account that they had deposited to was one number off from my account.
The website stated that the check was deposited into my bank account today, April 15th. Well, that particular bank account is closed and I haven't used it in years.
Even the IRS site Get My Payment, created to answer those questions, crashing and returning error messages on its first day. More than 20 million Americans have likely lost their jobs in just 1 month, with many of the latest losses in retail, where sales of clothing and clothing accessories plunged more than 50% in March.
We had next to no sales, hadn't had any for weeks.
Lisa Lewick spent the last 13 years working as a sales associate at Macy's in Seattle. Her job, along with thousands of others, was furloughed last month.
We're concerned what will happen? What will the future be like? When will we be able to go to work? Will we be able to go to work?
Mia Lupo, a furloughed stylist on the other side of the country at Bloomingdale's in Norwalk, Connecticut, shares those fears.
If you are an hourly wage retail worker, right? Like you're already living from paycheck to paycheck. You know, you don't have savings or an emergency fund.
And if you're having trouble getting your stimulus check or you want to know about the status, the best place you can go is that Get My Payment tool at irs.gov. Michael?
All right, thank you for that information, Rebecca. The economy and this pandemic also leading to so much uncertainty for students. The companies behind the SAT and ACT announcing they're now preparing home versions of their tests if high schools remain closed in the fall. And college leaders now warning this situation is like nothing they've ever faced before. TJ Holmes has more. Good morning, TJ.
Hey, good morning to you. We have to remember that college campuses have been closed for business as well, and their customers are students. Questions now about will the current ones want to come back, afford to come back? And for these incoming freshmen, one of the most consequential decisions of their young lives, they have to factor in one more thing now, a pandemic.
Educators are sounding the alarm as students and colleges find themselves in the coronavirus outbreak crosshairs.
We're about delivering
high quality education to our students. And how do you do this in this world that's characterized by both an epidemic and an economic crisis at once, which has stressed everybody in ways I haven't seen before.
Schools like Syracuse University hope to open for in-person classes next fall, but so much about the future is unknown in the midst of a global pandemic.
It may be, depending on the public health guidance, that we need to concentrate the in-person experiences, the performances, to the later in the semester, to October and November.
The American Council on Education now predicts enrollment for next year could drop by 15%, which could lead to a $23 billion revenue loss for colleges. And as the pandemic forces students off campus and into online classes, many families now wondering if a costly education is worth it, averaging more than $10,000 at a public university and more than $36,000 at a private nonprofit school.
I don't want to pay out-of-state tuition fee if I'm going to be home taking classes virtually.
Skylar Chase was looking forward to graduating from her Bronx high school this spring and studying engineering at Clemson University in the fall. But with the ongoing pandemic, she's having second thoughts.
I want to be home with my mother if another outbreak happens, so I can be comfortable in my own bed, in my own space. She is worried that for me to go out because it's 13 hours away from home.
With so much uncertainty about what the next school year holds, college admissions experts say families need to be prepared for multiple possibilities.
Students and families probably need to have a plan A and a plan B and maybe even a plan C.
And TJ, these changes to the testing may make it harder for some students to get into college.
It could make it harder, but you have places like the California University System and other institutions said they won't even consider test scores, but also the folks at ACT and SAT say they are developing online options. Yes, online possibilities for kids wanting to take the test in June and beyond if these campuses aren't open, Stray.
I guess everybody got to make some adjustments. Thank you so much, TJ. We have much more on the choices students could face in the fall coming up in our next hour. Amy?
Well, Michael, now to how some healthcare workers are finding light in this darkness. At New York's Montefiore Medical Center, they are playing what they're calling a happy code over the PA system. Take a listen. Love that song. And since Monday, look at this. When a COVID-19 patient comes off a ventilator or gets discharged, they play or they sing Alicia Keys' Empire State of Mind. And it's been a big morale boost, as you can see. It certainly put a smile on all of our faces.
Exactly. Move over, Alicia Keys.
Yeah.
They're coming for you. But that was great to see. We are following a lot of stories this morning, including tens of thousands still stuck at sea on cruise ships due to COVID-19 fears. We'll hear exclusively from one of those stranded crew members. In our ABC exclusive with Michael Jordan, the NBA legend, joining us live, taking us inside those unforgettable Chicago Bulls championship moments and that never before seen footage. But first, let's go to Ginger at home. Hey, Ginger.
Michael, hey, the spring snow is flying in Denver, covering the roads. That's I-25 you see there. But we also saw this in Erie County, Pennsylvania. A lot of people getting their flowers dusted with snow. It melts quick, but hey, there's more on the way. Nebraska through Iowa, Chicago tomorrow morning, all the way through western New York to start your weekend. All right, let's get to the snowy cities now, appropriate. Brought to you by Verizon.
Most people are good and most mamas ought to qualify for sainthood. I believe this world ain't half as bad as it looks. I believe most people are good.
Happy Friday Eve, Washington. It's going to be a chilly morning and a chilly afternoon, too. We'll have increasing winds, a few clouds coming our way with the weather front moving through late morning, early afternoon. Today's high at 55, feeling like 50. Then lighter winds overnight. We'll have a freeze watch up for early Friday morning. We'll track rain after 7 p.m., but moving out early Saturday, probably late morning. Drier weekend. The high temperature is 64 degrees expected on Sunday.
We will be right back.
Since 1926, Nationwide has been on your side.
We've been there in person during trying times.
Today, being on your side means staying home.
Nationwide offers